Scott, I'm sure you did your usual review this morning, so what did that tell you about Saturday afternoon that maybe you didn't know?
I think straight after the game, there's quite a lot of feelings around how things are. To be able to see it again, actually sit down and go through it 20 times, gives you some facts, and they were confirmed. The control of the game for us in the middle of the field, we needed to be better around what that looked like around overplaying and or going to an early kick game. So we discussed that. Also our movement. We challenged our game around where we needed to move the ball. I thought we started really well around shifting the ball to the obvious spaces on the edges. England did a good job around hinging us in. We got a little bit caught in the middle of the field. So that's attacking side of the ball. Defensively, the simplicity of nominating your role and doing it well. Just the simple things around what we prepared for. We confirmed what we prepared for. There's a good challenge around what it needs to look like this week in regards to Wales. Acknowledge it, but you have to move on quickly around what's in front of us because it's another big challenge for us.
So is it an execution issue, or is the game plan not being executed correctly? Is the game plan wrong, or is it execution?
I think it adjusts. Your game plan should be one that adjusts. So if you look at the start of the game, we felt we weren't as good as we needed to be to start the game. So we've addressed that around what that looks like. We had a nice moment there around some pressure where we built some good pressure on England, and we had some nice responses around where the ball went. England adjusted, did we well enough? Come down into their half, hold on to the ball, couple of drop kicks. What put us in that position? And what we acknowledged there was some of the kicking wasn't on our terms. It didn't allow our defence to get set. So how did we adjust during the game? I think when you talk about a game plan, for me personally, it must be one with the All Blacks that allows them to adjust, see what's in front, and play the obvious.
Is there just a bit of a tendency when, say, one thing goes awry, for example, in this case, the yellow card, and for it to take a while to adjust to that, and maybe just in that time, things sort of compounding a little bit?
I think that's fair. I think around the early yellow card, so what do we talk about at half-time? Composure. Starting well. The first set is a self-control around a hand and a ruck, going somewhere we didn't need to. And then what does that mean for England? Now they're coming down the field, they've got a set piece, they're in an area of the field. Where's the adjustment around that? You saw us early, Tony, around not going to a line-out because we felt in that moment we didn't need to bring a hooker on. So what's the adjustment there? Because we end up playing and shifting and kicking anyway. So some of those challenges around how we adjust to those moments. The key thing for us is when we're in control, what does it look like? And how do you get it back? How do we get it back against England? And they got a bit of momentum. We weren't able to stay in front.
Just generally, obviously the guys had a target, and everyone's been talking about what the goal was.
Yes.
Has it been a bit deflating, and what do you have to do to get them back up for what obviously now becomes a really important game, but for probably a different reason?
Yeah, I think you acknowledge that. We had our heart and soul focused in as a group to achieve something special and to embrace the All Black jersey by looking for the opportunity of a Grand Slam. And in the shed after the game, there was deep hurt, not only because of the performance, but the outcome of not having that opportunity anymore. So what do you do today? We're still hurting. But our boys have to be brave enough now to step up to this week's challenge. Every test match is different, and every test match is what it is, and it's got to be embraced. So we've got to turn quickly into Wales. Full respect for them. We're hurting, and I'll state the obvious that we had a goal, and we haven't achieved it. And now we've got a responsibility to Jersey to step up, put that behind us now and move forward, because we've got to do the legacy well.
Is it, dare I say, a little bit akin to, on a different scale, but losing a semi-final in the World Cup, and you've got to play a bronze game the week after, you've got to get back up again after disappointment the previous week?
It is disappointment because we had a massive goal in front of us and an opportunity. We performed better. We play the way we needed to, and then we have an opportunity for a Grand Slam. That's now behind us. It's now behind us. So what is this week? Wales. What a great opportunity for us. How can we bounce forward? Opportunity for others to grab energy. There may be some pitches where some of the boys won't get the opportunity to wear the jersey again this year, but they've got to be in behind of the group, helping them prepare, giving them energy. And there will be no excuses around us, around what it looks like this week. There must be a positive, aggressive, ruthless All Black team that comes out against Wales.
Scott.
Sorry, I appreciate your this game is very important.
Yeah.
When you look back across the year, what's your assessment of the team? Are you getting the growth you want, just from your perspective?
I think it's a fair question, but if you don't mind me answering this way, which I've said before, but honestly, my sole focus is on Wales at the moment. We will get time to reflect. You can use all the things around, debutants, we've done this and we've grown that and all that, and I get that. I think we can talk about that later on. I'm really proud of the group, around where we're going. You think around some of the games, Ireland, Scotland, the resilience that we showed. Look at where we are around growing some young All Blacks, great. But the fact is the performance on the weekend, we wanted to be better. So I think I'm best to put all my energy and effort into focusing on Wales. And then as we get through the season, then I'm sure we'll sit down and go through some things. Obviously, there's some discussions around where can we grow the area of our game, what does it look like, how do we become more consistent. But for me to be the best for the All Blacks this week, I'm focused on one thing, mate. And I respect the question, though, because it's fair.
Scott, when you talk about that game management side, as a coaching group, you work with the players, whatever, 6 days a week, and you come to a test match, you're in the stand, they're on the field.
Yeah.
The players love that too.
Just in terms of understanding responsibility, are you kind of powerless at that stage to influence the game as a coaching group? Do you just have to trust the players?
Massive amount of trust on the experience, the leadership, the guidance that's out there. There's a lot of test matches out there. They feel it. We sit in the stand, and sometimes it doesn't mean we get the feel right for the game. They get the feel around what the breakdown feels like, why they want to go somewhere. So we're often just asking, confirming questions. What are the boys talking around? What are they seeing? You get into half-time in a test match, you've got the opportunity to talk about the learnings. Okay, what have you confirmed? What have you seen? What does it look like? So that's a chance for us as coaches to confirm that. And there may be a message too around, this is what we feel we're seeing. You boys feeling the same. So we had that at half-time. At the end of the day, All Black captain and the leadership group, they're out there, they're feeling it, and there's full trust in their decisions, and they continue to grow those decisions. Every test is a little layer around building. That's a new learning for me. That's a new learning for us as a group. Players run the All Black team when they're on the field.
Scott, you mentioned respect in terms of the opposition. I've got no doubt that as a squad that you will, but is the mindset different this week? Because you're coming in, you're facing a team that have slipped to 12th in the world rankings. They've won once in 11 at home at Cardiff, and there's turmoil off the pitch as well with the game politically in Wales. How do you view that? Does that bring a different pressure on yourself? Given that you're expected to win and win well this week.
We'll do what All Blacks teams do, and that's prepare deeply with the ultimate respect for the opposition. What that should result in is a All Black performance we can be proud of, despite who's in front of us. So where Wales are, it's absolutely around, we've always got respect. There's a massive amount of respect for Wales. I remember as a young kid watching the Welsh teams, all the famous players. So it's going to be a massive challenge for us. One of the many lessons I continue to learn is, despite who you're playing in a black jersey, they will rise to the occasion and they will give you their best. And any good performance against an All Black can, for some teams, be the highlight of the year.
Can I ask you an off-field question? The Nation Cup fixtures have been announced this morning. This new competition that will take place next year. You spoke about growing the game. It's not football, obviously. Rugby is seeing financial problems across the globe. How do you think this will help invigorate and promote the game, do you think? Because there has been an accusation that the test window in July and autumn has become perhaps a bit stale and monotonous.
To be honest, today,
Yeah.
My focus has been on what we need to do well.
Okay.
I think the one thing for me is to continue to grow and promote our beautiful game in a positive way. I haven't read that news, sir, so I'm not able to answer that deeply, other than if it's growing our game and it's positive and it's getting young boys and girls watching and wanting to play rugby, let's look at that with good intent.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.